Hey, Dana Shoaf, editor of Civil War Times Magazine, with Melissa Wynn, director of photography. We're back here for our last broadcast here from Congressional Cemetery in Southeast Washington, D.C. We didn't intend to do all these broadcasts, but there's so many points of interest here, we just ended up doing more and more. And from our last little segment where we were at the grave of where John Rawlins used to be buried, we walked over here. We passed the grave of Tip O'Neill, John Philip Sousa, Cookie Roberts, the journalist, we mentioned her earlier, and other notable, Andrew Atkinson Humphrey's grave we walked by, and the whole family plot. Of course, Humphreys being Chief of Staff at Gettysburg and had a much larger Civil War service. It's really a very interesting place. So our last stop was at the former location of a grave, and now we are at the location of an unmarked grave, in a sense. I am standing next to Elizabeth Herold's grave. Elizabeth Herold was the sister of Booth conspirator David Herold. And David Herold's job the night of the assassination was to go with Lewis Powell and assassinate Secretary of State Seward. Herold's job was to wait outside. Powell went in, kind of botched the job. They fled into the night. And Herold ended up meeting up with Booth and was with Booth in his flight out of the district back across Maryland into Virginia. And Herold will be with Booth at Garrett's Farm, where the federal cavalry actually catches up to the two fugitives, and Booth is mortally wounded and will die there. Herold is going to be tried and hung at Fort McNair. And that Fort McNair is the location where the Washington Arsenal was located. We saw the memorial earlier. Fort McNair is located. You see the famous pictures of the conspirators being hung. That's in Fort McNair. And Herold was one of those. He's originally buried there, but his family petitioned if he could be exhumed and buried with the members of the family. So he's buried here with his sister in her grave under this stone, but his name is not marked here, just hers. She died in 1903. So David Herold's remains, Booth conspirator, are below me here in this unmarked grave. There's something, very thoughtful, I think, when you go to cemeteries, and I know a lot of you are probably like me and Melissa. You go to old cemeteries quite a bit, and we're all going to end up one way or another in a cemetery. We're not going to get out of here alive, as they say. And this place has that sort of thoughtful quality to it, and like Arlington across town, it is also full of people that made American history. And we haven't touched on the 20th century people here, African American folks here, all sorts of stuff. So if you get a chance, the pandemic lists and you come to DC to tour, try to work out a little time to come here to Congressional Cemetery, see some of these graves. I think you'll appreciate it. Until next month, May, the merry month of May, right, Melissa?
Correct.
We will be back with you. I can't remember the date, actually, but the first
third.
month. The 3rd, May 3rd.
With Rob.
With Travis.
I mean, Travis. Correct. Yes.
We can tell you, we plan to be with Travis Shaw, the director of Education for the, oh my gosh, I'm having a mind blank. They used to be called the Mosby
Virginia
Heritage.
Piedmont.
What's that?
Virginia Piedmont?
Virginia Piedmont Heritage Area. Forgive me for not getting the name correct, but we'll get it all straightened out next time. And we're going to be showing you some interesting sites in a beautiful town in Virginia. Okay? So we hope to see you in a month from now. Until then, this is Dana Shoaf, editor, and Melissa Wynn, director of photography of Civil War Times Magazine. Stay safe, stay well, and we're signing off from Congressional Cemetery in Southeast Washington, D.C.